everybody, this is Judy at Judi in the Kitchen. Today I'm going to be making a vegetable bean medley. Now this dish is excellent served over a bed of rice or millet or quinoa or even mashed potatoes, but you could also eat it just by itself on its own. Alright, we are at the stove and you can see I've got a second pot here with some rice that I just finished cooking, just took it off the heat. So now I've got a 3-quart pot here. The stove is not turned on yet. I'm going to go ahead and add a lot of ingredients to this and then we're going to turn it on. To start with, I have 1.5 cups of vegetable broth. This is broth I made myself, although you don't have to make it yourself. And I have one 14.5-ounce can of diced tomatoes, 3 large cloves of garlic that I've chopped up. We're just making this as simple as we can and just adding it all to the pot. I know a lot of people don't want to use the oil, so we are bypassing that sauteing thing. And we've got 1/2 cup of diced yellow onion. We have 1.5 cups of diced carrots and 3/4 cup of diced bell pepper. This was frozen. And then I have in this little bowl 1.5 teaspoons of dried thyme, 3/4 teaspoon of basil, and 2 teaspoons of dried parsley. And we will have other ingredients to add to the mix, but this is it for the moment. I'm going to turn this on to high, bring it to a boil, cover the pot, lower that heat to a medium low, and just allow it to simmer for about 10 minutes until those carrots start to soften up. And then we're going to add some more ingredients to this yummy mixture. My timer has just gone off. So now this is a good time. Give it a good stir and taste the mixture and see if you need to adjust the seasonings to make it toward your taste preferences. Now I make my own broth and I know I don't have a lot of salt in there and I like to give it just a little kick. So at this point I'm adding, whoop, it's sticking. I'm adding 1/2 teaspoon of salt to my mixture. And that's optional. You know, you may not need to do that because if you're using a commercially made broth, it probably has a lot more salt in there than mine does. So I'm doing that because I know I need it, but it's optional. You don't have to, and you might want to adjust the other flavors if you need to. Now we're going to add some more ingredients. I have about 1 cup here of diced yellow squash. You could use zucchini also if you have zucchini. And I have 1 can of Great Northern beans that I have rinsed and drained, or you could use about 2 cups of beans that you've pre-cooked from dry and maybe they're in the freezer. And now I have 2 cups of coarsely chopped fresh spinach. Yes, we're adding our greens, working our greens into this. And now we want to give this a stir. We're going to have to stir this occasionally here and there in order to get those greens down into the mixture. And I'm going to cover this back up and allow it to cook for another 5 to 7 minutes. I want the beans to warm up. I want that squash to start to cook a little bit, and I want these greens to wilt. I mean, we don't have to let this cook to the point where the greens don't exist anymore. We just want them to wilt and still be there for sure so we can enjoy them. And that's all there is to it. We're going to cover this up and set the timer for 5 minutes, and I might go another 2 minutes beyond that. I am turning the burner off. It has cooked for the additional 7 minutes. It took a little bit of time before I got this to return to a boil. So, okay, this is basically done, and you see it is rather soupy, and that is deliberate because it depends upon what you're serving it on, but by adding that liquid in there, it can help to moisten your base. Let's say you're serving this over mashed potatoes. You want that extra little bit of liquid in there to help flavor those potatoes and make them moist, even with the rice base that I'm using. Or you could just enjoy it just like it is. It would be a thick, hearty soup just like it is. So I'm going to plate this up and show you what it looks like. And here's our vegetable bean medley served over rice. It's yummy. And it even passed the husband test. Yay! The recipe is below and a printable version is on my blog. Give this a try sometime and let me know how it works for you. This is Judi at Judi in the Kitchen. Bye!